So the one last presentation now about the project and the national and local strategies that have been mentioned sometimes earlier today. So as I said, in 2019, simultaneously when the project started, both Bergen and Oslo got their local strategies for urban agriculture. And 2 years later, Norway got its national strategy for urban agriculture. So, how far can our results be used to follow up these strategies or to say check these points are fulfilled, these points have been worked on, and how is the relationship between the strategies and our practical work at all? So if we start with the Bergen strategy, which was among the first ones and the ones that, it's actually the first one to expire. So I think there's some work going on in revising it or maybe making a new one. Probably Anna knows about it and can contribute in the discussion. It was ambitious, should become the greenest larger city in Norway. A greener and nicer city, climate and environment should be protected and promoted. And they also give a number of examples of urban agriculture, allotment gardens, parks, neighborhood gardens, school gardens. So what I was sitting with was the question, and where are the farms? So I dived a bit deeper into the strategy. Are there really no farms in the strategy? They're obviously not in the main focus, in contrast to us. But within the strategy, there are two main goals. One is about meeting places, but one is actually about farmland preservation and developing food supply systems. And I would state that this is something which is difficult to achieve without including farmers. So there we are, in a way. And these two main goals have together 16 sub-goals. And again, a lot of them I didn't consider really relevant. It's enough if you read the ones in red. About maintenance of soil, especially soil from farmland, to new cultivation when the farmland is developed, and actually explicitly cooperate with farmers and other landowners who want to start community-supported agriculture. Only that one, not so much other ones. But again, there they are, and they shall get some support through the strategy. And even under the second main goal, I found at least one sub-goal which I considered relevant for us, and that is facilitate for business development in urban agriculture. And that, I think, is highly relevant for urban and peri-urban farms. Oslo starts with some requests by the city council. What should be done, what should be explored, cooperated with, and so on. And basically, I was left with the same question: where are the farms here? We have allotment gardens, immigrant organization, self-organized activities. Basically nothing about business. School gardens, but again, I read further, and this strategy has even 5 main goals. And one of them is local food production. And again, I think that is one which will be very difficult to achieve without including urban and peri-urban farms. And collaboration. And I think the previous presentations have illustrated quite some degree how much knowledge and different knowledge is necessary to be a successful grower on soil, on business, on the land, and maybe even more. So farms might be included to some degree at least. And the strategy has 23 objectives. And again, a lot of this is not highlighted by me, but in several places I thought, wow, large-scale food production, assess areas. That's actually what has been done within the project. CSA and similar agricultural models. There the scope is a bit wider, and originally we had 4 CSA farmers with us in the project. And not at least animal husbandry in an urban way. I mean, that really requires farming competence and knowledge. And more areas for urban agriculture. And we saw the map study earlier today, where would there be a potential, a good potential that is unused by today. And the second half of the objectives, there's even more highlighted, mentioning visitor farms that are already run, innovative solutions, collaboration, including private actors, entrepreneurs, and the preparedness aspect that has been mentioned before, food security, and use resources in an efficient way. That's where I think our farms can come in. And finally, we have the national strategy with 3 so-called focus areas. And there, first page, increased sustainable value creation and business development. That's urban farming. There, we have the farms. And the national strategy has also very many goals in different areas of society: economy, health, urban planning, education, food safety, social interaction, climate and environment, with different goals. And I read and thought, what have we worked on in the project? And not so few, quite a bit. Innovation and value creation, market gardens as a concrete example, recycling of nutrients and waste, water, composting, soil protection, all that has been mentioned. So if you remember my first presentation today, we have studied a very particular part of the huge field of urban agriculture, but I think we managed to cover quite a bit of the strategic documents that didn't even exist when we started. So we somehow saw it or managed to adapt. If we put this quantitatively into some numbers, for Bergen, we have 1 out of the 2 main goals are relevant, and 3 out of the 16 sub-goals. Oslo, 2 out of 5 main and 8 out of 23 objectives. And for entire Norway, even 20% of the goals and more than half of the areas of society, different ministries that contributed to the strategy are covered somehow by us. So after that, I was a bit pleased. So, it's not as bad as I could have feared. But this is strategy, documents, revisions, and so on. What we think would be valuable to do and not be done only by researchers is discuss what could be done in practice to foster urban farming or support. What could each of us